Here comes a duck, top of the board, pure skill, not love. Knows every ridge, every rock, every line. While you're still loading, he's taking your spine. Map knowledge deep like an ancient scroll. Reads the terrain like it's part of his soul.
Hello, Mr. Randy Duck and welcome back for another video. And today I've got two replays to show you in the Tier 7 Soviet heavy tank destroyer, the KV-122. And that is, of course, this is the level 75 premium tank season reward, which you can earn in this new season if you purchase a season for 2,000 gold once you've got to level 75. If you want to see the crew and equipment setup I'm choosing to run in the tank, you can see that at the bottom of the screen as I speak. But for the first replay, we are here on Great Wall and we're platooned up with Swindle 321 in his Stern Panzer, and it is team destruction, so we do not have to worry about a cap circle. So what is this heavy tank? Well, you've got basically a 390 alpha gun at tier 7 on your heavy tank, which is very nice. Very good DPM of 2,321 in this build. However, the tank gun handling is poor. This tank is very inaccurate. You've got an accuracy in this build of 0.43, and it can be very derpy, and you will have times where you fully aim your shot and you think, well, where the hell did that just go? So it is one of those guns where it does slap hard for tier 7, but it is very derpy. The armour, I'll be honest, is not amazing. You can bounce shots off the lower tiers, but generally a lot of tanks won't struggle with your armour. But like I say, with the gun, when it works, it can be quite nice because it's a good, that hard hitting tank for a tier 7. But ultimately the gun handling can let it down a little bit, and it can be frustrating to play at times when you're missing those for the aim shots. But that's kind of the life of this type of gun. So initially we get a lovely shot into this Vanguard that's played very aggressively, and we put him onto a one shot. He does put one into us in return, but he's now fired his clip and he's on the run. So we can choose to ignore the Vanguard. We're not going to chase the Vanguard down. We're just going to try and help out our heavies in this 1-2 area. Now we have rear shots of these tanks. So we should be able to make quick work of these tanks. Now they're in a horrible crossfire between myself and the friendly team in front of them. Looking to put a juicy shot here into that enemy CS, and we do. Picking up our third pen of the game, put us on just above 1,000 damage. So as I say, it is team destruction. We do not have to worry about getting capped out. But now we've sort of confirmed this flank, I'm not going to continue to push down the 1-2 line. I'm going to turn around because, as you can see, there are tanks in the sort of 4-5 ridge in front of Swindle there, where we can try and see if we can get any work in, get any damage as we climb this hill here, and see what we can do. So far it is 13 versus 13, so it's a close game at the moment. But unfortunately, this game does, starts to swing quite negatively against us, and we do start to lose quite a lot of teams, a lot of friendly tanks, and we get put up against it, and we have to really fight if we're in order to try and get this victory. So as you can see, we pushed this ridge. There is some tanks crossing here. We're going to try and get some shots in this heavy tank as he crosses. We do manage to land a big juicy shot in, picking up our 4th pen of the game. But as you can see, we're now 8 versus 12. I have to be careful poking this ridge because there's tanks in the E sort of 8-9 region across the map, and those tanks can get shots into us if we overextend. So I have to be careful not to really overextend. I'm just trying to stay patient and trying to see if we can get the shots in whilst we have opportunities to do. Looking to finish off that one-shot medium, but it just gets behind cover, so it's not quite able to. Then again, here's a classic example of the acquisition tank. You look to finish off the one-shot tier 8 autoloader there, but the shot just goes where it goes, and that is just something which I think when I first started playing the tank, I was a bit I'm not sure if I really like this tank because of that reason. The more I played it, the tank did grow on me, but I'm certainly not going to say it's like my favourite tank to play. I guess I just found it okay towards the end. So we're going to poke up to a position now that hopefully we can finish off this one-shot medium tank. Thankfully our shot does go true, and we do pick up our first kill of the game, but we're in a 5 versus 9 situation at the moment, and the enemy team do have the hit point advantage as well. Hopefully we can finish off this enemy Sturmpanzer before we get his shot away. Thankfully that shot penned, otherwise we could have lost a lot of hit points there. We do pick up our second kill, bring it back to a 5 versus 8. And now we're going to try and finish off that one-shot enemy autoloader, which we was missing earlier. Thankfully we do get our shot anyway. It took us a little bit of time to get that shot away, and we then start to eat damage from the tank's covering, which I was mentioning earlier. Puts us on 600 hit points, so we can't really push across to help our Borsig, unfortunately, because of the tank's covering. It kind of looked like probably about two or three of the tanks were pushing through our base, or I know we don't have a cap circle, but pushing through our spawn. So I'm going to head into a position that maybe I can try and help get some shots in as they advance, maybe spot for them, because we're in a 3 versus 6, enemy team do have double our tank numbers now, and yeah, over double our hit point pool as well. So it's a tight game at the moment, but it's still very much winnable at the moment. I say, unfortunately, I can't really help our Borsig, but the Borsig's doing a good job. He's now killed 2 tanks. He's killed an enemy top tier IS-3 there, but he's getting pushed by a light tank, and there's really nothing I can do to save him. But thankfully for us, the Borsig did do a good job at least killing 2 tanks. Vanguard comes around, the one-shot tank. Unfortunately, we low-rolled again, but thankfully Sturmpanzer, Swindle 321, is able to shut him down, which was huge because those tanks can be an absolute nightmare at the end of the game. So that was a big kill there, putting us under 2,000 damage, now 3 kills. I'm pushing in, I spot the Tiger 131. I don't completely fully aim this shot, but it does, when you don't fully aim the shots, it just goes like that. Thankfully, Swindle puts a big juicy shot in, so we're able to finish him off there. We do eat 1 shell. I guess we're lucky we could have ate 2 because he actually bounced one of the shots. So it could have been worse. We do still have 400 hit points. But we're now still in a 2 versus 3. Enemy team, again, have double our hit points left. We're on 11% to 5%. And there is still another platoon on enemy team. The light tank and I think the French tank destroyer are in a platoon, and then you've got this SU who's playing by himself. So we're definitely going to have our work cut out for us here. I'm just hoping to see if any tanks push this ridge and we can get a shot into them. Trying to get in a position so it's difficult for him to shoot me. It's an enemy SU, he can one-shot me. I'm trying to stay safe. I put 1 shot into him, and then boom, Swindle comes in with a huge HE round to shut down that SU-130. Putting this now into a 2 versus 2 against the enemy tier 7 platoon. The light tank has come behind me. I need to turn so he doesn't clip me out. He's put 2 shots into me. He actually has a 4-shot auto loader. I can't push him at the moment because he can finish me off here with 1 shot. But he fires his 3rd shot, and then he fires his 4th shot. And now he's actually on reload, so I'm going to push to try and get the shots in whilst he's reloading. Need to land this shot. We do, thankfully, puts him onto again, and maybe 1 shot to us unless we keep low rolling. But on 4 kills, 3,000 damage. We know the light tank is on reload, so I'm thinking, right, so our best thing to do is just both of us together kill this enemy TD. Now, unfortunately, both of us are on a 1 shot, so we need to keep pushing really together, because in case he kills one of us, and then it's going to be left to someone in to have to fight the light tank. So I'm looking to try and peek and get this shot in. Unfortunately, I just don't really have the angle, but we're running out of time because the light tank will be coming behind us any moment now. So I have to push to the wreck. Swindle is able to get the shot in as he pulls back to try and prevent me shooting him. And we manage to shut down the TD while the light tank is coming behind us. Now we're in a good position to both of us to pre-aim. If this light tank comes from this corner, we're going to get that shot straight into him as he comes over this ridge. We do put a shot into him. Again, we low roll, but thankfully Swindle is there to finish off the job. And we pick up the first victory there. Picking up 4 kills, 3,000 odd damage. Swindle has a really good game there as well. We do only confirm the first class, but we get the brothers in arms, and I thought it was a good replay there. We certainly had to work together to get that victory. So let's move on now to the second and final replay. Okay, so here we are for the final replay then on the Karelia, where it is tier 8 matchmaking again. There's 2 enemy fun police in the game and 1 enemy light tank. The enemy light tank is the Vanguard, so it can be, well, it can be a pest. But initially we're going to go and try and play this side. and push aggressively and see what we can get up to. So I do have a few tanks actually coming with me, so I do have a little bit of support. Ideally, I'm going to try and push straight across to get into a somewhat aggressive position to shoot any tanks which do try and cross the hill, because we do have a TD, a tank destroyer, is already taking the hill, so that potentially could put any tanks which cross the hill into a little bit of a crossfire. We do get a beautiful shot there actually into enemy medium tank, bottom tier medium tank as he crosses, so that should hopefully help our tanks out on the hill. But there is also a top tier enemy RAF which is on the hill. Now those tanks can get shot by our friendly artillery when they push up too high, and then if they do cross this gap here, you can see I'm pre-aimed, ready to get a shot in. Thankfully my heavy tanks have also pushed in, and they haven't just sat back, which is good because now we can try and win the hill location. We do put a juicy shot again into that medium tank as he crosses, and I'm just waiting to see if he tries to leave the hill now, and if he does, maybe I can get a shot as he exits and pick up the kill there. Again, there is still a top tier RAF on the hill, but he does seem to be taking some damage. Now I have the opportunity to kill the low tier 6, but I fluffed a shot, and that was mainly due to my poor aiming there. I probably should have actually picked up that kill, but he is leaving. Maybe I'll get an opportunity to get a shot in as he leaves. As you can see, I'm just looking for that opportunity. If he does cross too far to the right, I actually may get a small slim shot at the tank, so I am going to wait. Thankfully for us he does. I lead the shot well, and thankfully RMGesus was on my side, and we pick up the kill, confirming our first kill of the game. Enemy RAF on the hill, I believe, has now been taken out, and we're going to push again to the secondary rock. We may need to keep us protected from the enemy artillery and see if we can get any shots into this enemy heavy tank here, this ISM. But the ISM is completely hull down to us, and we are going to struggle to pen him unless his tank gets turned. The best thing we can probably do is keep him spotted and hope our friendly artillery, which we do have 2 off in the game, realise that he is a free kill to them there. If I can keep him spotted, he's kind of a little bit trapped, because if he leaves I'll shoot him. If he stays and our friendly artillery realises, then they will actually have some fairly easy shots into him. So I'm hoping they start to focus him to take him out, because I'm kind of stuck with the progression. I can't move forward with this ISM being alive. I'm going to get farmed by the enemy artillery if I attempt it. So it is kind of a patient game. We do have the tank advantage at the moment, but this game is far from won at this stage, and I'm just being as patient as possible because there's not a lot else I can do in this situation. If the ISM turns his turret like that, we was able to pick the slimmest shot there. So RMGesus was on our side, that he hit where we actually needed to. So we do put a shot into him, taking away a chunk of his hit points, putting him onto a potential 2 shot to us now. We're going to see if we can get a shot into him again. He's actually exposed himself. We might have this opportunity, struggling with the gun depression, but we are able to get that shot into his lower plate in the end, and we confirm the kill on the ISM there, picking up our second kill of the game, now in at 11 versus 9. Now one of the things is I don't like to continue to push the 9-0 all the time, because they have some stealthy tanks in their base, and you can quite often get farmed when you actually attempt to cross there. So I'm just going to see if we can poke and pick up a kill on this little tier 6 heavy tank, which we do, confirming our 3rd shot of the game. And again, just stay patient, because you can see that immediately the artillery is looking to shoot us here as we poke. And if we get spotted in the open, the artillery is going to shoot us, because, well, ultimately, we'll be heading in this direction, so it would make sense. So I'm not going to overextend myself too much down that flank, but we do have opportunities again to get a shot into that enemy heavy tank there, putting us on to over 2,000 damage now. But I must admit, I'm slightly concerned that enemy tanks are pushing towards our base location. I don't really want to get capped out. I'm going to go back to the hill here to see if I can get any shots and any tanks will get spotted in the middle, because again, I don't like to continue to push down the 9-0 line when they have 2 artillery in the game. They could potentially have some sort of camping tank, so I haven't seen that top tier Italian heavy tank anywhere. Like, he could potentially be at the base waiting for us, and it wouldn't be great, even though I do have all my hit points at the moment. So an enemy medium tank has been detected in the middle. and I may actually have a shot at him from the hill here. So we look for the shot again. Jesus was on my side, and we pick up a nice shot in. Now I'm going to see, has this tank moved? If he hasn't moved, I'll probably kill him blind here. Thankfully for me, he hadn't moved and was able to get a shot in to pick up our 4th kill of the game, bringing us closer to 3,000 damage now. And now we've got this enemy one-shot tank destroyer here in the middle. Don't have the shot at the moment, but we're keeping an eye out in case he moves. Here I get absolutely filthy blind shot into that enemy SU there, which was kind of massive, picking up our 5th kill of the game. You can imagine I was pretty happy at that point. So we're in a 7 versus 5. We do have the advantage here, but our base is completely undefended. And I know there was a light tank, and I'm thinking, well, I haven't seen this Progetto all game. Like, is he just going towards our base right now? Are we going to get capped out? So I started to head that way, but I kind of need some of my teammates to come with me. The rest of our team are now continuing to push down the 9-0 line here. I guess I could have gone with them, but I was thinking, well, if I get there and then 2 tanks get on our base, we're going to get capped out. So I need to try and think about that, because there was a light tank spotted that going that way. But then I realised, none of my team are coming with me. They've all pushed the other side, and they've all just kind of just lost, basically pushing and the 9-0, which is why I didn't really want to push it at the start. Because now in a 5 versus 5, and I'm kind of trapped in a really poor position. I'm guessing it has to be the enemy vanguard lighting me somewhere, but the problem I've got is I can't stay here because the artillery is just going to continue to shoot me. Now I do spot the enemy vanguard, so hopefully if my team on the hill realise, maybe they can come and help me, because I'm in a lot of trouble. Unfortunately it doesn't seem to be the case, and I quickly realise that I am going to be all by myself with no support from my team here. So I'm just trying to, basically at the moment I'm in survival mode, right? If I don't get out of this position, I'm going to die. The vanguard might clip me as I try and leave, but I'm going to die to artillery anyway if I stay here. So I'm just trying to do my best to avoid the shot of the artillery, lose my spot so I can try and move forward. We do lose our spot. Artillery misses, thankfully. We then get detected. We need to get behind this big rock here for cover. We reverse behind the rock. We do eat one off the vanguard, but then the vanguard bounces a second shot, and now again we're just stuck behind a rock. So I guess maybe I shouldn't have took that route. I did, but I thought our base was going to be in danger of getting capped out, and I'm now just completely stuck here unless my team come and help me, or if the vanguard moves. I basically cannot move. The vanguard just stays there. But it kind of looks like the vanguard must have moved back, because I'm not getting spotted. I'm testing it. I think, right, he's not spotted me now. Means he's probably moved. No, I have got detected. He's still there. So I've just essentially just got to wait till if my team come and help me, or this vanguard moves. Unfortunately for me, my team have opted not to help me. They've opted to push the enemy heavy, and it is that top tier Progetto in the in the sort of D0 area of the map. But I'm thinking, well, at least if they kill that heavy tank, that is still going to help us out massively. The biggest threat for me is the vanguard. Like, if I kill the vanguard, then I feel like this game can be a comfortable win. But yeah, just because the vanguard has such big carry potential at the end on big maps like this, where I can't really chase him down, I can't really spot him. Unfortunately, my tanks who have decided to push the top tier heavy wasn't able to kill him, and now they've left us in a very awkward situation, because we're in a 3 versus 4. There is a vanguard, and our light tank needs to get the hell out of there, because we're going to really need him in this game. He's in an awkward situation, so I'm trying to pull back to go back to my friendly artillery here, because I can't play out in the open like that anymore, not with a vanguard there. It's not going to work out. Unfortunately, our friendly vanguard does get taken out by the enemy artillery. I'm now in a 2 versus 4, and yeah, this is not looking ideal. The only thing I can really do is hope that they come and push off friendly artillery and try and maybe farm them as they do. So I'm going to try and get in a position to cover that tank. We don't know how many hit points. I'm guessing the artillery haven't been spotted all game. They're probably full health. We know how many hit points the vanguard had. He's about a 2-shot to us. We don't know how many hit points the enemy heavy tank is on. I'm kind of just praying he's on a 1-shot at this stage, so I can try and maybe if he pushes our artillery, he might come out of the base location now, and then maybe we can finish him off. And then then we can just go deal with the rest from there. So he does get spotted. He is a one-shot to us, which is great. I'm going to poke and try and get the shot in. We do manage to get that shot in, and we pick up the kill there, bringing us now onto a 2 versus 3. And again, the biggest problem is this Vanguard now. I'm thinking, right, I can't, unfortunately now, an enemy tank has got in the cap. Now I'm thinking, right, this is probably the Vanguard, right? And we have enough time to get back at this stage, but then the Vanguard pops up in the hill, so that means it's the enemy artillery in the cap circle. Unfortunately, our artillery gets taken out. Not a lot he can have done about that situation with the Vanguard coming down. And now we have a real problem, because in order to win the game, I've got to get the cap reset. But I've also got to try and deal with a Vanguard. I'm guessing he might be on reload because he killed the artillery, or he's left 2 shots left in his chamber. But ultimately, I've just got to push to the base. And I can't afford to take the long way round because I'm not going to make it anymore. So I'm just going to have to keep pushing. And maybe, he's looking slim, unfortunately, because that Vanguard's still in this game. If a Vanguard wasn't in the game, then this wouldn't be a problem. And I don't have the best view range in this tank. It is a Soviet heavy tank. So the chances of spotting the cap, I'd have to get pretty close. Unless I'm going to try and blind fire, but this is not going to be, if he's hiding behind a rock, that's not going to work. So we're pushing across and just hoping we can get there and get this reset. That's all what we're thinking about at the moment. We can't afford to go any other route than direct. We're just hoping, please spot it. But then the Vanguard gets spotted. I'm thinking this is just not good. We put a shot into the Vanguard, put him onto a 1 shot here, but it's still only 24 seconds left in the clock. We might actually be able to kill this Vanguard, but then we're just probably not going to get the reset. We do get a shot into the Vanguard again, but we low roll again. You know, we didn't low roll again. That would have allowed us to keep pushing to the cap, gave us half a chance. Unfortunately though, we have to wait and get another shot in. We do kill the Vanguard, but then we die to the enemy cap. Otherwise, we probably would have killed the last 2 artillery in the game. That was a disappointing end, but we still had a really good game. Unfortunately, sometimes you can only do so much right to get the win. We did get 7 kills, 4,000 damage. We did as much as we could, but definitely could have had more out of that game. Had I maybe not pushed to get the shot in the Vanguard, or maybe my team came back to help me. But that's it for the video. So thank you so much for your amazing support, and as always, happy tanking.